Welcome back, everybody. This is the alert. If you have your stream unmuted, that's the game is about to start. aLive versus Neeb is actually the first semifinal recast, which is, I guess, a change up.
Yeah, we had thought it was the other version. Oh, and now we need another 3 minutes?
Oh. Okay. It feels beyond. It always seems to happen. I got this. We're in the lobby. Ready to go. Oh, we're not.
Like, what are they doing for 13? No, I guess 15 to 20 minutes.
It's been almost 20 minutes, I think. I guess 10 to 15. I gave them their, 15 and I don't know. I tried to ask just so that we could talk about it. Okay, so I imagine that there's some, like, break time, go to the bathroom, but also apparently this time they're going to bring Stork back onto the caster desk because he's in the other semifinal. He has to wait anyways. And aLive said he was done eating. So there was a last minute change up. Okay. And now I guess they're probably fitting him with the headset and whatnot. So that leaves time to talk.
Well, I guess, so it's interesting. If they bring him on the caster desk, he'll have some insight for this TVP, but I kind of also feel like he could have after playing his games, too.
I don't know. Sounds like Stork likes having fun there. I'm honestly surprised he got to the semifinal. He beat Patience 2-0 after all. So
That's actually impressive to me for a lot of different reasons, but more so just I think Patience is like one of the best Protoss players in Korea right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree that, his results would speak to that. It's always so funny, though, to watch one, either GSL or SSL be really good for one person, and then the other one not so much, but anyway. Stork has had another surprising upset recently, but I forget who it was. So Stork is just this wild card, like, suddenly he'll just decide he's, like, really, really good again, but then most of the time he's just looking to have fun, so I'll go on a caster disc.
So, the iPhone came out, right? That new one?
This sounded so much like so how about them Knicks? But yes.
What are your thoughts on the whole new iPhone there, Zombie Grub?
I don't think I have many thoughts on the new iPhone. I used to have an iPhone a long time ago. That was my first smartphone, was an old iPhone 3, which at the time was already 3-4 years old. I heard this one doesn't have a phone jack, which
Yeah, the wireless headbud things. They're silly and I think are dumb.
They look really dumb. They do. I definitely agree with that. And forcing people to buy the more expensive Bluetooth also is really bummer. But as someone who does have wireless headphones, I wouldn't have been so bummed out.
Yo, I was super duper extra stoked the first time I ever tried Bluetooth, and then let down immediately to learn it adds like a 1-second delay to what you're listening to. Because I tried to use it for watching a show with speakers, and like the sound wasn't syncing up the lips, like, and I'm like, why is this not working? Is this my end? Did I download something wrong? Like,
I haven't tried that yet. Of course, mine still has, a cable you can hook in, but yeah, I've only listened to music with it so far. But that would be a legitimate problem.
Well, folks, it took a little bit of time to get this party started, but this should be a really fantastic matchup. Spawning in the top left side of the map, it's going to be the red Terran player, the Korean hometown hero, aLive.
Open. The bottom right, America. The yellow Protoss, Neeb. America with Congo, apparently.
It almost just sounded like you're just shouting out America as if that was like his name. The bottom right, America.
I don't know what that is. Well, it's something. I'm sure Scarlet forced him into that clan. I'm sure it's clever.
For those who don't know, Neeb is, of course, living in Korea presently. Yes. So he's got the best ping possible. No excuses for this matchup.
No.
TVP, we talked a little bit about the dynamics before earlier. I'll reiterate it again now. It just seems like late game is going to favor the Protoss more often than the Terran, and early game with aggression favors Terran more often than Protoss. But Neeb is the guy who likes to turn that around and do things like just a great big adept all in.
Sure.
Like, yeah, the early game is mine.
He has it in him, that's for sure. His weakness lately does seem to be the transition from mass mid-game gateway army to Colossus, and then even a little beyond that. I very rarely, I feel, see him actually get to Tempest, even if Liberators are becoming a legitimate problem. But he's been getting better on all fronts, of course. So.
Yo, I'll take that to a weird side note too, where if Neeb is intending to go for Colossus right off the bat, right, or his game plan is to get Disruptor drops into Colossus, like though that seems to go very smoothly for him. But you're right, it is almost like that awkward transition of, do I have enough supply to transition? Do I have enough money to transition? I didn't really check either. Now I'm dead.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few times you'll see Neeb die in a silly fashion. Because otherwise, when Neeb loses games, it's after like a really hard-fought battle of good trades, back and forth, decision-making, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, unless he's really tilted. aLive will certainly, I think, try and tilt him with like Widowmine drops or Hellion builds. But it's not that he's weak against anything like that. It's just sometimes he'll take like 5 probes of the damage instead of 2 or 1, and he'll actually start to kind of downward spiral. He's getting better at it though. Thank you to Run Amok for the 3-month resub. Can I get some kappas in chat and in your hearts? Certainly running amok the chat. Thanks, buddy.
What's that? Run Amok wants you all to check for the golden kappa and see if anyone has a golden kappa?
I wished I didn't sound so elitist when I said that everyone should use the scaredy cat emote, because I fucking love that emote. But it's only accessible to turbo users. Womp womp. Everyone kappa, I guess. That's okay too. Well, single Hellion maybe, probably, and then a Widowmine. Little bit of distraction tactics. Oh, but ooh, look at this. What's this here? He might not go for a lot more gateways beyond this. This might just be a slow warp-in point, because there's been a couple of times where the Protoss almost breaks the front for one reason or another, a greedy build by the Terran, or the lack of bunkers greedy, or something like that, but they won't have any warp-ins whatsoever, when really a slow warp-in could have helped and actually won the game, too. Just, it's so... well, or we can get a 4th. Like, I always forget this is a thing, I don't know why. But yeah, you can also just get a 4th gateway.
Yeah, and of course, we're putting it all the way out here. That's some instant warp-ins. And like we said, guys, Neeb is a big fan of the big Adept all-in. And it's not something where Neeb's like a no-skill player who relies on these builds, but it's more like he's a high-skill player who says, if I can get away with these builds, I absolutely should.
It is only 4 gateways. I was wondering if to go up to 5. So 1 more, and of course 1 proxied than you would need if you're going to just do a macro game. But that's something aLive would have a really hard time scouting to see, like, oh, he's definitely proxied a gateway somewhere. You should probably check with a Marine or something like that, but now focusing on the drop, sees the Adept. He did go for 3 Hellions, by the way, not Widowmines, so it's only a Marine drop. But the Hellions were looking to be that extra little bits that would maybe get that shot when the probes line up and get pulled away. But if his units are attacking, then there's nothing really to defend back at home. This is an engineering bay. Now a bunker comes down. But there's a Mothership Core to defend against a Marine drop here. There's maybe 1 more Depth Warp in over here. Maybe he doesn't need it. He already took down 2 Hellions. Yeah. Neeb can kind of just entirely focus on the attack. Oh, Liberator! No? Okay, too late. Bye. That doesn't feel too helpful. This Marine drop almost died, in fact, but may as well have only 1 Marine left in it. And aLive might have just died.
Yeah, he's running away with the game, Neeb, that is. It doesn't go for the stim pack, just keeps going for the SUVs. GG. Thought that ended so quickly, because restarting my computer did not fix my FPS problem.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Well, that was pretty quick. Not much to say except that aLive wanted to go for a bit of a tricky build. Not a trick build, a tricky build. And in doing so, had all of his units out in the front without an appropriate defense back at home. Against anything, really. Like, if that was a slow warp, and like I was talking about initially, probably still would have lost. He really had nothing except the Liberator. He tells me frozen, which I will then tell Olivia. Is that not clear in the procedure of this thing? He says frozen.
So, do you ever go to Reddit, not The Onion?
No. I only see it on the front page.
I've never really checked it out until I saw this one headline. Woman found she was farting through her vagina after surgeons wrongly connected her colon to it. And I just assumed that this was all parody. But the point of the subreddit is that these are true stories.
Oh,
They're
you
so
did?
mind-blowing ridiculous that you would have sworn it was an Onion story.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that much. I hadn't read that one, though. That's gross.
I had seen like the King of West Africa. He went to like landscaping or something in Canada. Like I'd seen all these. I just assumed it was actually like sarcastic. Like, no, we're definitely not the Onion. Like it's
Oh.
supposed to be like really obvious that they are. I can't believe these are true stories.
Yeah. It's amusing. There's some golden ones in there for sure. She's not responding, am I? I'm gonna make it, whatever.
So do you go to the front page of Reddit or do you go to all of Reddit?
Hold on.
Because my front page is less interesting than the all page on Reddit.
Front. It's the default one I've always gone to. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. I suppose so.
Like, I don't actually subscribe to a lot of Reddits. Like, I'll visit the videos Reddit like 5 times a week, but I'll never actually subscribe to it.
So, you know how us StarCraft fans, especially the crappy ones, just like to constantly compare numbers? And I remember at one point, they actually cared about the number of people who had subscribed to the StarCraft Reddit. Now, I read that every day. I'm not, like, trying to lay off of it because of all the drama or something like that. No, I don't really care. I just don't read past a certain point of comments. Anyway, I don't subscribe to it. Because A, I'm kind of lazy, B, it's like one of my homepages anyways, and C, I didn't want to spoil back when I actually cared about spoilers. I didn't want to be reading the front page and then scroll down and be like, oh shit, Gabio won that match. You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know why people care about that so much. I'm so uncertain about how to do this. I gave the Korean guys the host, but made myself referee. I didn't even notice.
I remember a time when we didn't have lots of really awkward breaks and could just host things and it wasn't an issue. Those good times.
I suppose it was. Oh, she wasn't tapped in. It's okay, Olivia. You can trust me to make the lobbies. In fact, I'm pretty sure I even turned off First Blood. Although, now that I think about it, maybe not.
Well, that trust may be misplaced then.
Whoopsie.
All right, well, game number 2 kicks off, and spawning here in the top left, despite the fact that he is on his home field server, he is down 1 game. It's the Red Terran aLive.
The bottom right as the yellow Protoss. He is Neeb.
All right, so Neeb's moves were a little bit predictable. Before he even really made them, we kind of guessed that that's the direction the game would go. And I mean, at this point, with how often he plays, for those who don't know, by the way, Neeb has conquered the Korean GM ladder. That's like been a non-issue for him, I guess. But regardless, like these guys should have played him against him at some point. His tournament play is all over the place, finishing tops of DreamHacks, big famous VODs over there, lots of times on BaseTradeTV, tiny little VODs over here. At the end of the day, it really is that classic case of like if the casters can blindly guess what he's doing, you'd imagine the players could. And it's not to say aLive didn't know what was coming, but still just hit him so hard, so unexpectedly, and it's such a timing that he just wasn't ready for.
Yeah. It really was the timing. It wasn't even necessarily the build he did, although that does set him up for complications because he doesn't have production back at home. But if his wall is set up, repair goes down, maybe not even, maybe the Liberator sieging up would have been enough to make a Neeb go, okay, I can't do very much. Because again, it was a 4 gate. It wasn't a 5 gate. It wasn't like a 7 or 8 gate. It wasn't super all in. He could have backed off from it and be only a little less worse for wear, as long as he didn't take damage from the attack, which he didn't. aLive's attack did basically nothing. So it was that timing of that wall. aLive, he'll have an easier time walling off here, if that is going to be the biggest issue in this game. Remains to be seen, depending on what build they both do. aLive already changing things up, going for a second barracks pretty quickly, so he's not going to be for a lack of production this game, but it also means he won't have a lot of tech, so this is the only scouting he's going to be getting for some time. Gotta make sure he doesn't die to a single overcharge, gotta make sure that he actually is repeatedly scouting, because Neeb's not a cheesy guy, but he can throw it out, so Dark Shrine, definitely he's done that before. A real adept all in with a robo and, you know, as many gateways as possible, yeah, he can do that too. In fact, he's going for three barracks, that's what I mean to say, so a lot of bio production. This is going to protect him in the early game from most things, as long as he's well positioned. It's also going to mean he's going to have, whoopsie, a lot of units in that mid game. That first push is not going to be weak. Or really shouldn't be. And Neeb's going to probably, once he figures out what the build is, really focus on defending this ramp. You know, 2 pylons, force fields, maybe an Immortal at the time to cover the Marauder. Well, I'm actually going for a Marauder first with the concussive shells. Interesting. Very interesting.
By the way, just keeps getting asked in chat. We answered this at the start of stream, or more like we discovered it at the start of stream. But bringing it back again, guys. First off, I wasn't intending to not stream. I'm having FPS issues today for whatever reason. So Zombie up streaming. She doesn't have my camera feed because my camera appears to be broken. I'm not sure if it's actually straight up broken, like it's garbage now, or if I just need to unscrew it and like resolder some wires or something. But for the most part, it's not creating any signal to the PC. So no, my arms are not re-broken. I'm perfectly fine. Thank you for the trolley caring.
Look at this. Yeah, all good stuff to know, I suppose. Trolley caring, even. But this is not that main big push. Words. As it's not with Medivacs. He got the Marauder slow. He was wanting to go for a push. Neeb, unfortunately, hasn't gotten much scouting. He's denied, or tried to deny aLive scouting.
Kind of getting wrecked.
Mothership core was not in position. If that goes down without killing enough, it does end up getting 3 Marines to help out. That could have been even more devastating. But with only 3 Marines left over, he'll be fine. That was actually an unnecessary Photon overcharge. Totally.
Yeah, he's stressing a little bit over this, and I don't blame him.
Yeah. It's a very surprising maneuver, but the question is, of course, now, did aLive do enough damage? And Marauder gets in here, might get 1, maybe 2 more pro kills? No, only 1 more pro kill. So 5 in total went down for a handful of units. A bit of delayed stim, but overall, for the build he chose to do, a very delayed medevac push. So he'll have a good army. Like, he has enough production to get another army. That is not what he's scared of, but rather that Neeb. Okay, 5 pro damage, a little bit of an overreaction with a Photon overcharge. It's not devastating to his build. He could probably still go for a 3rd. His Observer's going to see the Marines push out, but without medevacs, that probably shouldn't be another, you know, suicide attack. He's probably going to want to re-scout that too. Boom, scanned, bye-bye. Well, that sucks, because even though he's probably going to wait for the medevacs, it's always a little scary to know that they just walked up to your main, or your natural. They could do it again, and this time with stim.
Yeah.
And you might not be ready.
Well, Neeb was on like, what, 8 army supply when aLive is coming with close to 20? It's not quite the case this time around.
That's certainly true. And it'll have Blink, I think, as well. Yeah, should. Ooh, aLive. His Reaper did die while that went down. It was actually distracting the Mothership Core, which is why she was a little late. If she was in position, that actually looks like a really dumb build sometimes, but it can also work out like that. It can actually win games occasionally. Well, that's pretty rare. But anyways, the Reaper went down. So the scouting saw what is a normal build here, right? Twilight Council, Robo, Gateways. But, you know, there's a possibility of a Dark Shrine. You don't know if they took their 3rd base or are planning on it. What if they built 7 more gateways behind all of this and are about to attack you? So, they're both a little bit in the dark here. aLive as to Neeb's build, Neeb as to aLive's army positioning, which might just cost him this 3rd base. He's got to instantly cancel it, in fact, I would guess. Is Pro barely going to scout this? That's nicely done. I do see a lot of Protosses put the pylons down there, so nicely timed.
Oh, he's gonna pick him, go to the main. That's a little bit bold. There is still overcharges available through the mothership core. There are, excuse me, still overcharges available. Neeb, though, is this going to be a fast enough reaction?
Yeah. He didn't really bother overcharging that one that was already going to go down, but... As long as there's not a second attack, which there is not, Neeb can focus entirely here, and that wasn't too bad. His observer is now in position to see an attack like that, too, before it gets too far gone. He has Blink, and he was actually using that to get back up to the high ground. The game continues on, basically. And aLive is building his third TC. That's almost done, and he does need that. Observer will see that as well. But, more gateways, more production. Finally, a War Prism. Seems like one of the later ones in this matchup. And aLive's on his way to a Liberator account. Maybe initially 1 or 2 for the harassments, but many more after that. That's a very, like, literally middle-of-the-road scan. I hope your army's literally in the middle here. Ooh, a lot of probes go down. 11
Literally.
already? Yeah. Literally 11. This is a really nice split, though. Oh, okay, that would have been kind of hurt, but... It's a pretty nice split. If only he had pulled the probes earlier, this would have been almost, well, maybe not. Some micro right there, but almost perfect. Drop in the main base. There were some stalkers, but no mothership core to help out, so they actually just get obliterated here. Oh, this one main drop is actually doing a lot of work. Had to elevator up the Immortals, gonna try and micro them. He will clean it up. He's cleaned up the natural. He's cleaned up the third as well. But he took a bit of a loss there, probe-wise and army-wise. He's got to consolidate his army because aLive is. And those Liberators were not used for harassment. They're going to cover the bio. What am I to covering the Liberators? This is tricky. Oh, the War Prism micro, though. Oh, the War Prism micro. Probably needs more of it, though, as he goes up into Liberators. What am I doesn't get much. Liberator's got a lot of last shots on the Stalkers, however. Thank God he has the Immortal still alive with his most Marauders left over. Oh, but he can't pick him up. Oh, he can. Damn, War Prism range. Why are you so big? That was nicely handled. I feel like an inferior Protoss would have just collapsed right there. I don't know what to do.
I believe you.
Do you not see what's actually happening?
No, and this has really put me off.
1 second there's an army and then there wasn't. It must have been beautiful.
It's kind of, that would actually be more interesting to watch, I think. Like, poof, what do you need, right? It's instead just like, yeah, like 1 frame per second.
Oh, that sucks. Well, I feel that it's much worse because there's actually an interesting game going on. I don't mind solo casting, but no, you don't want to. Sometimes winning the lottery is a bad thing, I guess. Maybe you should actually buy a lottery ticket, though, if your luck's this way.
I don't think this is winning. I think this is very much losing.
Okay, but, like, luck can be bad or good, right? Just a chance of something happening. So.
Okay, well, whilst I watch the game stutter on, I can at least see the production tab pretty consistently. And, okay, Tutu's not here yet. But aLive's already got a really big army supply lead, and when that 2-2 hits, that's going to be the perfect time to push.
That's true. This is one of those times, as you see the War Prism gets taken down. Bit of an overcommittal there from Neeb. It's one of those times where Neeb might be caught, yeah, not transitioning fast enough. You know, he cleaned up the third base, but it wasn't the cleanest cleanup ever, for sure. And he did not start advancing his tech. He advanced his economy to his fourth base here, as it's almost set up. And in doing so, he might just be a little bit too late to those extra units, those bigger, better units. And aLive's bigger army supply might just kill Neeb. In fact, it's kind of looking that way. I don't... Force fields will help out. Maybe the Liberators are, you know, out of position here, but the Immortals are getting choked off. Mothership Core's not here to help with the pylons. It's half the army supply, equal upgrades. Oh, he's trying to take care of the Liberators at least. Here's the Mothership Core. 1 pylon helps. Way to go. He is starting to pick things off. Still at half the supply, but losing equally the same amount. 20 to 20. Cat's in the way. Move. Amazing things are happening right now.
Apollo, your butt, please.
Ah, that's game. Yeah. I mean, despite holding, right, because I really think a Protoss would have lost at that third base, another Protoss rather, he was not the flow of the game was not in his favor, and aLive was just getting a huge army. Ooh, very quickly. New Gettysburg. I think I have to make that. Yes?
I hate to ask, but would you want to just... I just feel like I'm bringing negativity at this point. I'm just grumpy and I can't... I don't want to abandon the cast, but I can't. Like, this really sucks.
I have no problem solo casting. So
I'll try one more. If it doesn't get better, I think I'll maybe cut it there. It sucks because I want to be excited. There's like really good fucking things happening, and while I don't get to watch them again, just don't know they're happening.
Yeah.
Followed by the fact that Neeb is just like it's super hype watching somebody like Neeb play in the Olimoleague, right? We all know he's really good at the game, but you guys don't know that we've seen him both win and lose games here before. Watching him tear through all the Terrans and then lose to Gumiho and other things, like it's just
Yeah. Well, we're actually already in the lobby. The Korean casters made it.
Neeb's here. Just missing aLive. Korean casters made it without any mod though, so.
Yeah, they failed. They tried, but they failed.
Way to go, Korean casters.
Are they missing his co-caster too?
Yes.
I don't know why they need a co-caster. I don't know how their setup is. Well, that's to say I don't know why they need it in the lobby.
So to explain to everybody as well what's going on, sorry, I don't normally like bringing a lot of negative energy to the stream. I don't like being grumpy, but it's A, I'm getting denied my enjoyment of the game, and B, like I would actually be better off just watching like the stream on a delay, because for whatever reason I'm getting this crazy surge of lag to Korea, which is reducing my game rate down to like 1 frame per second. So it's impossible to watch. You guys got to see a small taste of this before I swapped streams with Zombie Rub earlier. It has gotten worse since then. And
it's a bummer.
I'm hoping it doesn't persist, because I would really like to finish this cast. It's so lame to duck out at the semifinals of all times too, but I don't want to keep bringing negative energy. So I'll try. Like right now, it's smooth as butter. I hope it stay like that, because ladies and gentlemen, spawning the bottom left side of the map, it's gonna be that yellow Protoss hype, the American hero Neeb.
In the bottom right, as the red Terran, it is the Korean Dopin aLive.
Is he doping? We gotta check that. That's not okay.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Ritalin and shit.
Actually,
I know that we did.
Jinx.
There was like a. Oh, sorry. Do you want to talk about serious things or?
No, but I wanted to jinx you.
Oh, well, I'm not playing that game today. I know for a little bit of time there's that discussion, right, in esports, like, you know, what's considered drugs? Like, it's okay to smoke weed before an event? Can you take Ritalin even if you're prescribed for it? Like, that whole debacle. But man, did you see and hear about DreamHack's Counter-Strike stuff recently?
No.
So I'd say the two big points that we see brought up with gaming in general, but StarCraft as well, is the whole drug dynamic, doping up before the events, or alternatively, the whole, like, what can you have in the booth, right? Like, if you have your phone, it could vibrate, and maybe you'd be cheating because your friend texts you. Like, the CSGO crowd was actually getting escorted out of DreamHack because they had signs that would say, like, the bomb's at B, and hold it up in front of, like, one of the teams type of thing.
Oh, the fans were getting escorted out.
Yeah, it was insane.
Oh, wow. Well, it's always a danger, I suppose. That is really stupid of them, though.
By the way, that proxy is super sick,
right?
And I hope this leads into a Starport follow-up.
It might. We'll see. I was going to talk about the Dopin clan, but that was a lot more interesting. The Dopin clan is just seems to be a community of Terrans, whether they're up and coming or established, but Korean Terrans specifically. They like to band together, I suppose, just in case they ever need a Terran union. Maybe the Zerg already has a union, and that's why all the Kespo reports of balance were Zerg favored.
If you think about it, the whole dynamic of the Overmind and the Cerebrits was literally like a union.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, pro gamers. Story, God. Anyways, Neeb scouts all this, by the way. So he had a probe scouting in aLive's base, and that just was something that he could not deny if it was early enough. And that's a real bummer. His starport's going to be denied here. The Widowmine can't do enough to stop that, just to kind of, you know, try. Try and get a hit. But now that it's been seen, it should only ever get one probe at a time. And the starport, it just, I don't think he can send a CV over here. It's just gonna build another starport. That's the way it works. But this is a terrible opener, I would say. The Widowmine's really supposed to be surprising. The starport follow-up's to be even more surprising. And instead, he's on one base. He's gonna lose his factory much quicker than he expected. No command center quite yet. He might be able to get it, but he even messed up his build a little bit because of that starport thing. So he's been supply blocked. Awkward.
The way to photo an overcharge that's kind of cool though. Like usually you see a stalker spend forever firing at it, more Widowmines get made and they just walk past the stalker. The pylon was certainly a creative way to deal with it.
Oh, well this is clever. Yeah, I'm leaving. JK.
Oh, this does play a little bit into like just assuming Neeb assumes that you go home with this, right? Like who would double back and put down a tech lab? Not many people, that's for certain.
Yeah, he does.
So the question now becomes like, is it a cyclone? Is it gonna be a tank? It looks like it'll be a tank. I don't know about the tank. I actually would have loved to have seen a cyclone be the follow-up to this, but I guess the tank paired up with Marines could actually siege the base, and if it's no longer about cheesy shenanigans, but an actual attack, tanks in the front line faster than a normal tank would be.
The Adept did see the medevac leave. In fact, thought it was going to come back and kill it, which is why he was hesitating for a second there. So he should be well prepared in the main base. Going to skirt around that pylon, but there's stalkers over here, and these are not upgraded Marines, so they would not be able to take down microed stalkers. They need to wait for the tank and the Liberator. Observer sees more Marines rallying. It's you know, the command center's not been put down, and Neeb has known that for some time.
I mean, the proxy already told you this is going to be a rough game. Like, from the get-go.
Yeah. This is going to deny the push. Hopefully aLive doesn't try to sandwich, because he's just going to lose his tanks if he does, with that force field there. Medevac sees it, so nice alert there.
And there we go. I'm assuming you're not seeing lag, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, like, again, the small plus side is that whatever this is, it obviously doesn't affect the game, so it doesn't affect the players, it doesn't affect the other observers. Something died, I don't know what that was. I'm guessing a Liberator.
Liberator. The tanks still aren't found out, which is just hilarious at this point. But they need support, right? Like, they can't actually go for a back attack. They're going to get wrecked. And the force field did go down, so...
And they get wrecked.
This is not working out at all. aLive, just tap out.
GG!
GG. Neeb takes the series 2-1 and will advance on to the finals. Which is, at this point, he's basically guaranteed to the monthly, but he'd like to win first place.
Hey, the finals is still good. I think I am going to take my leave, though, because I'm just going to I'm going to bring the cast down. I don't want to do that. So, guys, sorry about this, but thank you, Zombie for... I guess you're sleepy. I feel like a real asshole right now.
Don't worry about it. I've reached the point of...
Second wind, right?
Yeah, I was going to say I've reached the point of post-exhaustion. That was a difficult thing to say even if I wasn't tired, though. I don't know why I went for it.
Fair enough. Well, good luck with the rest of the cast. It's luckily it's only 2 series, so hopefully it won't be too bad for you. I'll try and watch a bit. But guys, thanks for watching, and just make sure to support Zymegrub and be super nice and awesome to her. And I'll see you guys tomorrow when we're back with the WESG qualifiers.
Yay! Go to sleep. Go do your thing. Okay. He's gone. Let's get him off here, really. If there's no confusion. There we go. Solo cast. Hey. So the next best of 3 will be Stork versus Gumiho. Yes, I did that wrong before, so I just made sure. So yeah, another best of 3, another PvT. First, a quick break, though, because it's been a little bit. See you guys when the players are ready to go.